Take a look around you. Your phone, your sneakers, maybe even the drone you just bought. For the last, 3 decades, chances are they all share a single birthplace, stamped right on the label, made in China. For so long, China has been the undisputed world's factory, the absolute engine room of global manufacturing. But, things are changing. Costs are going up. Geopolitical tensions are, they're tense, and new rivals are stepping onto the factory floor. Which leads us to this massive multi-trillion-dollar question. Is the era of made in China, as we've known it, actually over? To even get close to an answer, you have to go back and understand how this manufacturing empire was built in the first place. And let's be crystal clear, this was no accident. This was a grand, strategic design from the very beginning. The story really kicks off in the late 1970s with Deng Xiaoping's huge economic reforms. China basically made a monumental bet, opening its doors to the world in a way it never had before. This set the stage for what became, by the 2000s, an absolute perfect storm for mass production. Now, the key to the whole plan was this idea of special economic zones, or SCZs. Just think of them as these giant laboratories for capitalism set up right on China's coast. And they made foreign companies an offer that was frankly impossible to refuse. Huge tax breaks, dirt-cheap land, and access to the largest workforce the planet had ever seen. The pitch was just irresistible. But here's the thing. Cheap labor was only half the story. The real secret weapon, the backbone of this whole operation, was a state-driven infrastructure blitz. China built world-class ports, highways, and power grids at a speed that was just mind-boggling. This meant a factory could get parts from 500 miles inland in the morning and have a finished product on a container ship by nightfall. That level of efficiency is just incredibly hard to copy. Okay, so that incredibly well-oiled machine is now facing some serious geopolitical headwinds, the likes of which it has never seen before. These ongoing trade tensions, especially with the United States, have completely changed the game. And those tensions, they might just be getting started. A potential universal tariff of 60% on all Chinese goods is now seriously part of the political conversation. Let's just be really clear about what a number like that means. A product that costs your company $100 to import would suddenly cost $160. And that extra cost? It doesn't just disappear. It gets passed right on to you, the consumer. Or it just completely wipes out the company's profit. So yeah, a 60% tariff isn't just a policy tweak. It's an economic earthquake. That one move forces a total fundamental recalculation for literally every global company. The game is no longer just about efficiency. It's about survival. All this uncertainty is leading boardrooms to embrace a new strategy. It's called de-risking. You might hear it called the China Plus One strategy. Now, companies aren't pulling out of China entirely. That ecosystem is way too integrated to just quit cold turkey. But they are actively and pretty urgently looking for a backup plan. They need a plus one. And this right here is where the global chessboard gets really interesting, because as companies start searching for that plus one, a whole host of new contenders are raising their hands, all of them eager to become the world's next great workshop. And one of the biggest drivers of this shift? It's pretty simple. Money. China's own economic success has driven wages way up, which gives its rivals a huge cost advantage. This makes the pitch from countries like India, Vietnam, and even Mexico sound a lot more appealing to these big multinational corporations. And it's not just about cheaper labor either. Governments are aggressively rolling out the red carpet. I mean, take India, for example. Its Make in India campaign, combined with some really powerful financial incentives, is basically paying companies to set up shop in key industries like electronics. And you know what? This strategy is working. Just look at Apple. A few years ago, pretty much every single iPhone was made in China. By 2025, it's estimated that as many as 1 in 4 could be assembled in India. That is a seismic, tangible shift happening right now. It's the China Plus One strategy in action, plain and simple. But, and this is a really big but, these new hubs are not a simple plug-and-play replacement for China. Not even close. Anyone setting up shop there is facing some major hurdles. Infrastructure. Yeah, it's improving, but there are still huge gaps. Logistics can be a total nightmare. And navigating the complex bureaucracy, well, that requires a whole different level of expertise. It is a race to catch up, and that race is going to take time. So while all these new contenders are chipping away at China's lead, they've all got a really steep climb ahead of them.
Which brings us to the future. And it's not about one country replacing another. It's about a fundamental remodeling of the entire global factory floor.
Because what these new guys are discovering is just how hard it is to replicate China's secret sauce. They're learning about the power of a long-term state vision, that relentless obsession with moving from just assembling things to actual high-tech innovation. And maybe toughest of all, that incredible cluster effect, where every single supplier you need is just a few miles away, allowing for unbelievable speed.
So, no, the Made in China era isn't ending. It's evolving. The old model, one single, giant, unrivaled factory that was obsessed with efficiency above all else, that's giving way to something new. A multipolar workshop. Think China plus a few others, where diversification and resilience are every bit as important as cost.
At the end of the day, the world's factory isn't closing down. It's just expanding its floor plan, opening new workshops all over the globe. China will, without a doubt, remain an essential high-tech manufacturing titan for years to come. But its solo reign, that's over. The real question for the next decade is, who gets to build the next workshop?